Q&A, Q&A, Q&A.
Bezatko asks, how do you perceive Doom in comparison to modern video games? Like, what makes it so lovable from your perspective? The thing I've always loved about Doom is the speed at which you move around. The game can be as fast-paced as you want it to be, well, kind of depending on the map, but usually. And I just love huge outside areas where I can dodge through and around enemies. Then, well, the ease of access is one of its biggest strengths. You load up a WAD and you get started right away. You don't need to look up guides or figure out the build, you just play and you learn as you go. Shining Warrior 1 asks, what do you do for a living? I work in cybersecurity and IT risk management to be specific. The name kind of says it all. You identify potential risks within the company, you analyze them and mitigate them where possible. DuckReconMajor asks, did you used to play any competitive FPS games? Nothing competitive, no, though I used to play a lot of Quake 2 back in the day when I was young. I'm just not really a big fan of games like Counter-Strike, as I don't like having to wait to respawn when you die in the middle of a round. I just want to get back into the action right away. Outside of first-person shooters though, I have reached Master Rank in League of Legends, but that was about 10 years ago. And I used to play rhythm games somewhat competitively. Here is a clip of me playing in the Oceania World Cup in 2015, so also quite a while ago.
Break this and you're fine. Yeah. Well, it seems like a few of these played it differently practices. Adrian and Lim still holding an impressive 100% accuracy.
Oh, and we lost very, very hard, by the way. But we did win one round.
And this is going to be a win for Netherlands, it seems.
Does look like it.
Eduardo and friends
Asks, what's your favorite food you like to eat? Are you a foodie at all? Do you like to cook? Or do you regard food as nothing more than fuel to keep you upright? Do you play other musical instruments and have you thought of making your own midis? Well, I love chicken so much I could eat it every day. I don't, but I think I could. I cook most of the time and I think it's alright. I don't necessarily really enjoy doing it, but it's okay. And my partner cooks when it's an office day for me. Usually we eat something like pasta or wok or a combination of just veggies, potatoes and meat and kind of look for some variety. I love going out for dinner though. I always look forward to it so much. So in conclusion, I'd say I'm somewhere in between, not a foodie, but food is definitely more than just a way to survive to me. I had thought about making my own midis, but it's honestly just very intimidating. I even tried some stuff. I know which software I can use, but it's hard to really think of something and not get stuck after just a few bars of music. I know, like with any other creative project, you just have to do it and learn and accept that it probably won't be good at the beginning and you will improve as you do it more, but it's difficult. I think it might happen in the future, because I had the same with mapping with Doom, but I'm about to kind of finish up my first real map, which took a lot of time. So maybe the same will happen with a BD someday. Who knows? Borok asks, before you started uploading Doom videos, what was your playstyle like? Even before YouTube, I've always felt like I haven't completed a level if I don't get all the kills and the secrets. I would also try to single segment stuff back then, but I really wasn't that strict. I usually started using saves once the map got even, well, remotely hard. Carl Raven 91 asks, I would like to know how you got into Doom and whether you would be planning to try out the Back to Saturn X WADs. I got into Doom thanks to a CD we had back in the day with a collection of games on it. Both Doom 1 and Doom 2 were on there. Of course, very, very legal. And about Back to Saturn X, it is on my list. I will play it, and I really want to play it. I just don't know when yet. My list has quite a few WADs on it, and I usually only decide like a week or sometimes even a few days before I start a new project. Yeah, that's usually when I decide what I will do, because it can change. Lightning Bolt Forever asks, do you like to travel? And if so, where's one place you've always wanted to go if you haven't already? I do like to travel, but I don't really do it that often. My biggest trips have been to Japan in 2016 for about 3 weeks, and I've also been to the United States for 2 weeks, but that was when I was only 7 years old. I'd still love to go to Korea and to Canada someday. Nuru the Doomer asks, what's your favorite Doom midis? This question is so difficult. I do have a playlist, a private one, with some of my favorite tracks right here. There aren't really that many on it, I have to update it still. Eternity hasn't been included yet. I might as well add the whole pack, just like I did for No Rest for the Living. That whole MIDI pack is awesome. But yeah, there's still a lot more that I have to add and I have to take the time for it. But now you have a bit of an idea what I like. Ronnie Anderson 5144 asks, will you make more content like Violet Shift, with practice runs on larger maps? Well, when this question was asked, I was only doing blind series for a short while with Plutonia, Plutonia 2 and Eternity, but now I started Italo Doom. I know that's not exactly large maps, but it is practice content. So I will be going back to large maps at some point as well. And I try to always have one blind series going on and one practice series. UCM0I6W5LBLRTHCTZEOJ99TG asks, if you could only ever fight one Doom monster for the rest of your life, which would it be? Revenants. They are threatening, but they die quickly in a satisfying manner. Homing projectiles force you to stay on the move and adapt, but maybe most importantly, berserk punching them feels amazing. Crashbang34 asks, when did you first ever play Doom? I think I was around 5 or 6 years old when I first played. Kakos were somehow very scary to me back then, so I always dreaded the end of map 5 of Doom 2, or basically any Doom episode outside of episode 1. Epic All Zero asks, who is the most inspiring or promising small creator you have found and watched in your years of YouTubing, and why? This is honestly the toughest question of the whole video. It made me realize that I almost never watched small creators until I got active within the Doom community. I think it's partially because YouTube doesn't do a great job at pushing or recommending small channels, although it has been getting better over the last few years. To answer your question, I tried very hard to look outside of Doom, but came to the conclusion that all the channels I'm subscribed to are relatively big. Within Doom though, I'd say that Cammy's channel is very underrated. Cammy creates amazing music, frequently leads and works on media projects such as TNT or Alien Vendetta, and has uploaded over 300 tracks on YouTube. If you're into the soundtrack of custom Doom WODs even a little, Cammy's channel has plenty of bangers for you to listen to. Consistently pushing out great track after great track takes an enormous amount of skill and dedication. And look, what a coincidence! Cammy asks, outside of Doom, what do you do for hobbies or work? I guess I already answered the work part, but when it's about hobbies, I've been playing the trumpet in an orchestra for the last 8 years, and then another 12 years with the flugelhorn before that. I also have a piano, which I play fairly regularly. Kabak asks, is there anything in Doom that you don't like or would want to change if possible? The block map bug is the biggest thing, where your shots sometimes just don't hit. A smaller damage range would be nice as well, as a few unlucky high rolls can end the run out of nowhere. I don't really hate the RNG, sometimes it makes for really great and clutch moments, but I don't think it will be a bad change. Eddie Salinas or Salinas asks, what do you think of Eternity? What are your favorite levels of it? I think Eternity is a beautiful looking world with incredible music. I really like the episodic structure. It makes the difficulty curve a lot better compared to most MegaWods, as there's clear ups and downs within an episode. They also feel very unique so far. My favorite map, I think, is map 32, as it felt like a huge adventure. It does help a lot that I set aside a whole afternoon for it, and I came in prepared. And then in second place comes pretty much all of episode 3, because I just love the snowy theme. Asad or Assad asks, do you want to collab with Big Mac Davis? If so, have either of you reached out? What is the worst WOD and the best Doom WOD you have played? And who is your favorite Doom tuber and why? That's 3 questions, but sure. While I haven't talked to Big Mac Davis specifically, I'm pretty much always open to collaborations. In my experience, the invitation usually comes naturally though, after figuring out what you want to do. For example, with Spectere and I both reaching 1k subs and wanted to celebrate it together, or coincident wanting to create a new 4-man co-op run. But who knows, maybe we can find something cool to play together sometime. My best WOD would be Going Down, and the worst WOD, well, probably Holy Hell Revealed. I tried it, only played the beginning. I just remember it being relatively boring compared to something like Occuplock, so I just didn't play for long. And my favorite Doom tuber? Well, I'm sure you never saw this coming, but it has to be the Xeno. To me, he's the one who started it all, and I know there's older content creators out there, but for me personally, watching somebody play through Hell Revealed with live commentary was content that I never knew I needed until I saw it. His analysis videos are always interesting to watch, and his playthroughs are very obviously what inspired me to start uploading as well. Sunshine's Content Ranch asks, what is your favorite iWOD? Doom 2, because of all the memories. I think now that I've played Plutonia, I can say that it's probably better and the quality is more consistent, but it just can't match up to the nostalgia that I have for Doom 2. Mr. E330 asks, what is the meaning of Vitan? Okay, get ready. It has no meaning, it's simply 12-year-old me trying to think of a strong sounding name that I liked. It was for an MMO called Tibia, so I knew it would be seen by others, and I took quite a long time to think. I have no idea how I got to it, but all these years later I still like how it's short and easy to remember. Scott Jackson 1420 asks, is the name Vitan, and for that matter the Sino, something that makes it obvious that you are Dutch to anyone who actually knows anything about the Netherlands? Are you going to try some of those challenges, such as completing levels without killing any monsters or doing speedruns? Do you care to discuss why you think Doom has endured for all these years? And finally, say something nice about your cat. They both don't mean anything in Dutch and wouldn't sound that obviously Dutch to someone either, although Vitan does sound more Dutch than Sino due to the double vowel. Also, take a shot for every time I've said Dutch in the last 10 seconds. Or maybe don't. About the challenges, maybe? I just like getting 100% kills and secrets too much. I could go for a D2 theoretically, where you go from the beginning to the end, through a WOD without any deaths, but that takes so much time and practice, and it would just be hard to keep up with daily uploads like that. I think the closest I've gotten to a challenge is my Doom 1 Nightmare runs, from beginning of an episode to the end, without any deaths. Doom has 100% endured all these years because of the outstanding community support. It's basically an endless amount of content. And last but not least, my cats are very orange. Kabom9263 asks, what is your favorite game outside of Doom? There's quite a few things. My favorite genre is rhythm games. I used to play a ton of Auto-Jam back in the day, which is a very old game. Then stuff like Guitar Hero, Osu, and nowadays Sound Voltex, which, while I like the mechanics of Sound Voltex so much that I bought an arcade controller. I also enjoy games where I can have a long-term goal, for example Factorio, Satisfactory, or expert Minecraft mod packs where you're forced to automate things and set up complex systems. But also MMOs such as Final Fantasy XIV or old school RuneScape. JM and the Argonauts asks, wall strat may be unmatched, but what other strat could defeat it in a head-to-head battle? And when will the next April Fool's stream be to unveil more epic strats? For the unaware, wall strat, also known as Power of Wall, is an advanced technique that I only use in the hardest of Doom maps on Nightmare, such as E1-1. I think the only strategy with a decent chance would be the infamous auto run off. You run at your opponent hiding behind the wall, but before you reach him, you go for the auto run off strategy, making him miss his shot, and then you go in for the kill and you call him a loser. And for the second question, on April Fools, I guess, although probably not a stream but a video. .com Gaming D5564 asks, what type of music are you into? I can appreciate a lot of music. I honestly believe almost every genre has something to offer if you look hard enough, but I often listen to EDM such as hardcore or hardstyle, and I often listen to Doom medias as well. Delta V6585 asks, what are your fondest Doom related memories from when you were first playing? You know what I remember loving about Doom specifically when I was young? The face in the status bar. I don't know why, I thought it was just so cool that it changed as you lost health, and I remember thinking that his face looked like a pig when you had between 40 and 60 health. Don't ask me why. Besides that, I played a lot of Doom with a friend of mine. She immediately recognized the game and stuff like stimpaks, medikits, and how we would incorporate that into made-up games that we would play in real life. And she recognized that when she watched one of my videos, I mean. Well, usually we would just call it a small and big health pack in those real-life games that we made up. Dinner Fork Tongue asks, what languages do you speak, and have you considered playing a total conversion for the channel? Also 2 more questions, but I already answered those in the previous ones. I basically only speak Dutch and English. I had some French and German classes in high school, and I remember enough of it to be able to read simple things, but not enough to have a decent conversation. And about playing total conversions, I haven't considered it. If it happens, it might be for a sub-milestone someday. I feel like I'm probably too much of a purist, but I'm not gonna say that I will never do it. So hi Lali1123 asks, well, kind of, on reaching 10k subs, do this. On Halloween, 2 Dutch men, Vitan and Decino, getting dressed in a cosplay costume of Baron of Hell and Hell Knight, and somewhere in a public park start a melee battle until one submits. Well, we shouldn't be able to hit each other unless you do some kind of explosive barrel trick. But then I think if you do that to us in real life, we probably just die. So I don't know. Mancubian Candidate asks, what's your opinion on New Doom? I completed both Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal and had a great time with both of them. It just lacks the replayability and the community support that Classic Doom has. That's why I'm not sure if I will ever play them on my channel, because I feel like I already experienced it fully. Maybe Doom 2016 someday, because it's been quite a while. World of Food 123 asks, if you had to fight one Doom monster in real life, what would it be? Assuming Commander Keen doesn't count, it has to be a zombie man. Their accuracy is terrible. When they do hit you, it barely hurts, and you can just punch them to death in a few hits. I did think about Lost Souls for a second, but who likes Lost Souls? And I also prefer my house not to burn down. Spectere asks, when are you going to upload your next Parappa the Rapper 2 video? You have no idea how much power I hold. I have like 4 unlisted videos of Parappa the Rapper, and look at this one. This one is from 2008 when my computer was slow, and I think the emulator, not that I use emulators, but that one was pretty slow as well. And this is unedited footage, by the way. It's so bad.
That's right! I'm in the house! Here it comes! Extra! You know!
Anello asks, you tell me this, Vitaan, what's the deal with Dutch loving Doom? Well, the Dutch are known for being very direct. Classic Doom has almost no story, you get straight into the action, and you shoot demons in the face. So how much more direct can you get? The Netherlands is also associated with cheese. What you can also do, and this is some real cheese. Let's jump in here. Yeah, there we go. Then that switch to start fight is right here. Come on. There we go. You hit the switch and you just jump out. And let's wake everything up. Hello.
Then run away. Press the switch. And there you go. You've won the map. This is how you choose it.
Tim Doherty or Doherty asks, do you play any other first-person shooter games? Or in the past? How about other genres of games? As said before, I used to play Quake 2 quite a lot when I was young, mostly with my sister and my dad, and I'm also a big fan of the Half-Life series. Nowadays, I don't really play other first-person shooters, except for the occasional round of Battlefield 5. Still with my dad and with my sister, just like back in Quake 2. And now, I saved the very most important question for last. Cecilia asks, yes? To which I say,
Yes.
thank you once again for helping me reach 1.5k subscribers, but also for sending in your questions. Though I love creating playthroughs and, well, obviously Doom, doing something different like this Q&A is a lot of fun. I'd also like to give a big shout out to the following members supporting my channel: Pocket, Andy Norton, Assman, Bob Lawblaw, Leek, stefBBQ, Synth, Jon Stanberry, Makhauser, German B90, DuckReconMajor, Björn Andersson, UCM0I6W5LBL RTHCTZEOJ99TG, Chaos to You, Mancubian Candidate, and Spectere. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video. Bye bye!